Welcome to the Medline Guide to Measuring for Decorative Textile Products. The intent of this video is to provide you with a step-by-step visual guide to accurately and precisely measure for quoting purposes. We hope that this will remove any concerns you have with the measuring process and make you more confident in selling interiors products. Let's start with cubicle curtains. When measuring cubicle curtains, there are two major measurements that we need to have: floor-to-ceiling height and track length. Floor-to-ceiling height measurements can be taken up the wall of a patient room or bay. To start, put the metal tip of the measuring tape at the juncture of the floor to the wall. Ride the measuring tape up the wall until you reach the juncture of the wall in the ceiling. The measurement should be recorded in inch increments. Next, we will be taking track measurements. Accurately getting the exact measurement of track is nearly impossible. Instead, we can take rough measurements of track at angles. The dimension we want to record is the extended intersection of the track. The dimension should be taken at the point where, if you drew a straight line from both pieces, they would intersect. You can put a coin or other marker down at that point to remind you where that point is during your measurement. Simply measure with your measuring tape on the ground what the dimensions are. There is a shortcut that can be utilized in situations where there are ceiling tiles. Ceiling tiles are typically 2 feet by 2 feet or 2 feet by 4 feet. You can count the number of ceiling tiles covering each bay to quickly get the size of the track. Another suggestion is to check existing curtains. Most curtains have tags that will generally show the dimensions the curtain should be. Take these with a grain of salt, though, and physically measure the curtain to double check. Finally, we can take measurements of an area with existing curtains to get new dimensions. We want to take the floor-to-ceiling height and the track lengths, but can also determine existing floor clearance and mesh height. Floor clearance is the distance from the ground to the bottom of the curtain. There are no requirements for this measurement, but the standard is about 12 inches. The only two things you should be concerned about with floor clearance is that you don't want the curtain so low that housekeeping cannot clean underneath it, and you don't want it to be so high that it turns into a patient privacy issue. When in doubt, use 12 inches. Second, we would measure the height of the mesh. The mesh is needed because of fire code, and to be safe, we suggest 20 inches of mesh. This can change depending on where you live, so if you are in doubt, consult the local fire code. Mesh can be longer than 20 inches, but again, we want to make sure there are no patient privacy issues. Any mesh longer than 20 inches should